Hey everyone. It's like 3 in the morning. I'll try to talk a little louder. I'm outside right now, just so I don't wake anyone up. And I'm hearing like bugs and coyotes and everything, Midwest. So, anyways, I haven't made a video in a while because I haven't really had a lot to bitch about, really. But I mean, the big national news that I'm seeing right now is the whole situation with Ferguson, Missouri. If you don't know what happened, if you've been living under a rock, a 18-year-old black teenager was shot by an officer, and the officer actually spoke out about it a few days ago, trying to make himself not look like the bad guy, saying that he was charging him and all that sort of shit. But anyways, basically at a candlelight vigil for Michael Brown, that was the teenager's name that got shot. Riots broke out. People of Ferguson started looting. They burned down Quick Trip, and it's basically been like a whole violent scene. I've been trying to keep up with it a lot because I was supposed to move to St. Louis, but my mother and I kind of agreed that I would wait until the whole situation died down. And I know other people have made videos and everything, but I know Mr. Repsion made a video. I haven't really watched it yet, though. But anyways, I feel like I should make a video about it since, I mean, Ferguson, it's close to St. Louis, and everyone's saying all the shit's going down in St. Louis, even though it's not directly in St. Louis. But a lot of people are pitching in. The police forces in all these different cities are coming and helping, and basically, when I went down there for classes and everything the other day, the city was on lockdown. There were cops everywhere. There were cops everywhere in front of my school. There were cops everywhere on the Del Mar Loop. So basically, what I wanted to talk about was this because it is affecting where I'm living. And St. Louis, I've lived about 10, 15 minutes outside the city almost my entire life since I was 6. So it's been such a long time, and I just feel like I should comment on it because it's happening almost right in my backyard. So basically what I mostly want to talk about though is the officer trying to cover his ass. And what I saw the other day when I was watching the news, it was after they lifted the curfew, and they did a couple autopsies, and basically the officer released his story saying that he was telling Michael Brown and his friends to get out of the street, and they started yelling and cursing at him, and then Michael charged him. But autopsy kind of shows differently. He was saying he shot himself in self-defense, that Michael was trying to grab the gun from him. But what the autopsy said was that he was shot 6 times, well, 6 to 8, and one of the bullets went through the top of his skull, and there were, I think, some bullet marks, on his hands, which, if Michael Brown was taller than the cop, then he would have had to have been in a kneeling position for a bullet to enter his skull through the top, and had to have had his hands up when to get the bullet marks on his hands. I'm not completely sure. I was kind of just trying. I was really on the edge of my seat when I was watching this. I was a little scared because I really do want the violence to stop, and it's a scary situation. But I think this is all being handled so horribly by everyone else involved. I know the National Guard was called in, and while I was watching yesterday, I heard Fox News saying that they were snipers on top of buildings. I mean, fucking really. Is there any need for snipers? I know shit's getting crazy, but there's no need for a fucking sniper. Where do you think you are? Friggin' Call of Duty or whatever kind of video game they use snipers on? I don't play a lot of video games, like Resident Evil and Tomb Raider and Star Wars Battlefront. That's about it. But what's driving me nuts about this whole thing is, things are being handled wrong in Ferguson by the citizens themselves, because there is a peaceful way to protest. I mean, you can just do a candlelight vigil and plant yourselves on the sidewalk, or just walk and there really was no need for violence. But I have a feeling it was all instigated by law enforcement. This is not like an anarchist video by any means, but it's just being handled so wrong on both sides, with them bringing in friggin' snipers. And when I was watching some of the riots last night, they were circling some people who broke out of the crowd with, they would make like a huge ring of gunmen around him pointing at the crowd of people. It's just horrible, unprofessional crowd control. And the way I saw it, it just made me mad. Like, and if I was mad, then it would have made the people a whole lot madder. And nothing, like, exploded overnight or anything. I mean, it was all, it was just some people, throwing things here and there, but basically, everything could have been handled so much better. There was no need to tackle people to the ground. Well, I mean, yeah, you probably did have to tackle people to the ground to control them, but there was no need to form, like, a gigantic ring of people of the National Guard around them with fucking huge-ass guns. There was no need for that. I feel like it was being handled so horribly. And the worst thing was, I was watching this on Fox News. And you know, Shepard Smith, he's just such a smarmy dick. I hate hearing him talk, but he was just, the way he sounded really irked me. I know I'm jumping to conclusions here, but he sounded like he was actually kind of finding this all funny. And then he was talking, and then I think he was asking a question to President Obama, and he said something kind of smarmy. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm like, really, it is not the time to be pushing your own thoughts and feelings about Obama. Not at this fucking time, okay? Like, this is the worst possible time you can have. You could just save it for the next morning when you're doing your fucking round table or whatever they do. I don't watch the news a whole lot. But this is a serious situation. You know, people's lives are in danger. This is not a time to be calling Barack Obama's authority into question. Like, we know you hate the guy. It's not the time to be shit-talking on him when there's a whole lot more going on. And I just thought they were being so disrespectful about the whole thing. I mean, the cameramen, they were doing their jobs. They were following people with cameras, and I understand it's one of those things where it's not the best time, but the media does need to cover it, because people need to know what is going on, how they can be safe. But it drove me so nuts watching this. I don't know, like, how much more I can say about Shepard Smith and how much of a arrogant dickhole he was being. So I'm definitely not going to watch it on Fox News anymore. I don't know why I was watching it on that channel to begin with. I think I came upstairs and my dad had it on, so I kind of just watched it there. But it's all just really scary for a person like me, where I know the city, but I'm not a part of it, to say. It's really hard for me to word, because I have lived 10 minutes outside of the city practically my whole life. So I feel it's very close to me. And I just don't want things to get to the point where it does spill over into the actual city and shit starts breaking out there. I mean, there's always going to be shit breaking out in big cities like that. I mean, LA, Chicago, St. Louis, New York, whatever. There are always going to be violent things happening, but this is a situation where it's just spilling out of control, and no one is doing a good job to control it. So it's a little scary, and people are always like, I've heard people say, oh, it's just St. Louis being St. Louis again. No, you're fucking generalizing. Ferguson and Florissant, it's not even in the city of St. Louis. It's a completely different area, but they are close. And law enforcement, they're doing as best as they can so it won't, like, come into the city, because it's a big city. It's dangerous enough as is. They don't need people fucking breaking windows and looting, and that's the one thing that bugged me about this whole thing, was the looting. I mean, just people using the excuse of a kid dying as a way to get free shit. That's absolutely deplorable. I don't know what the fuck was going through their heads, but that's not the point of this video. My whole point was that law enforcement needs to know how to handle this better to to keep the people of Ferguson safe and to keep everyone in St. Louis safe. And the fact that I find that the officer's story to be complete bullshit. Like, I know it's bullshit, because people are like, oh, I guess I kind of understand. No, he's trying to cover his ass. I've told stories like this to cover my ass before, and I can tell when someone's trying to cover their ass, and this man is trying to cover his ass. I can tell. I am very good at reading bullshitters. And basically just me addressing people who think just St. Louis is just going all ratchet because of it, when really it's not. I mean, I think the officers in the actual city of St. Louis are doing a pretty good job keeping everyone safe. I mean, I guess it is a little bit of a profiling situation, but I mean, you know, shit happens. But really they're keeping the city pretty safe right now, because most of the violence is happening in either Ferguson or Florissant. So yeah, I just really felt like I had to make this video just to get it off my chest. It's 3:07 right now. It's really late. I just can't sleep, and I've been having problems sleeping for a while. And I was talking to Thunderous Time Lord on one of my pictures on Facebook, and he was like, when are you gonna do a video again? I haven't seen a video from you on my subfeed in a while. I'm sorry guys, I've been busy with school and work, and I know I say I'm gonna come back and make more videos, but I'm not gonna make promises that I can't keep. So I'm gonna make videos whenever I can, basically. I'm not gonna say it's definitely gonna be a rant, it's definitely gonna be a cosplay related video. But I will keep making them, because I will always, like I've said, I will always have things to bitch about. So yeah, like I said, just be patient with me. Adulthood is scary. So yeah, I probably look like shit too. I'm sorry. Sorry I can't always be attractive. Oh well, shit happens. I'll probably put something right there just to even out my face a little bit more. Okay, anyways, I love this shirt too. I haven't gotten a chance to wear it yet. Soft Wookie, warm Wookie, angry ball of fur. Angry Wookie, hairy Wookie, grr, grr, grr. It's late. I get goofy when I'm late. I don't mean to. But yeah. That's my 2 cents about the situation. I really had to say it because, I mean, it's close to me, and it's pretty relevant to what's going on in my life right now. So, yeah. I will definitely try to post as much as I can, but thanks. Bye.